let's just play it through. Let's play Friction all the way through for those of you who haven't heard it, even though I'm sure you all have. But let's listen to Friction. Oh, hang on. Mute myself.
The city's scared if it's too tight. In the late hot summer sweat, the kids come looking for a fight. And everywhere the sirens call, and the guards that built these walls are taking bets to watch you fall. But in the underground there are no names, just a kick drum, heartbeat pounding insane on strangers' lips and in our veins. We grind out the freedom with our chains. It's the friction. Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. Static sparks across the wires, and the wind blows in from elsewhere, catching embers of desire. But the flames are in our hearts, and the longing floods the circuit. We peel our masks off in the dark. But in the underground there are no names, just a kick drum, heartbeat pounding insane on strangers' lips and in our veins. We grind out the freedom with our chains. It's the friction. Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. It's the friction.
There you have it. Friction by The Midnight. This is one of those tracks where I was really trying to. Tyler had a very specific vision for it, and I was really trying to translate that and get it right. And I don't know that I fully feel that I did. I love the song and I love the track, but I just feel like I'm happy with the track. I just feel like, could I have done more? Could I have? Does it have a few layers missing? Should there be, more of this and less of this and blah blah blah? I don't know. Royce killed it on the solo. We were in a studio in North Hollywood, down the street from where I used to live, actually. Back in like April. Was this April or May? and the guy in the studio had this like pedal that is essentially this pedal. I'll just bring up this guitar now if we're talking about it. Sounds like, so it's just kind of a wonky pedal, but it just was cool and like kind of gritty. Very just so like broken, but it's kind of like a little bit of like garage rock as well. It's not just your typical kind of like metal shred lead. I don't know. But then I cleaned it up a little bit with some EQ. Sounds like this. Oh, that one. And then obviously gotta have some chorus. There we go. This Ubermod is a great chorus. It's like my go-to chorus if I want to put chorus on a synth or like a guitar or like a lead instrument. I don't typically use it on vocals. I find it's a little bit too much of a sheen, maybe. I don't know how else to pronounce, but essentially this is what, like, if we go Ubermod, this is the setting it opens with. I don't think I changed anything. That's it. Yeah, it sounds, let's hear. Yeah, it sounds nice and wide from the get-go. But Ubermod is so, what's this? What that now? It's got some really long reverbs as well. If you go into reverbs, and here you have some really long ones. This one. I've used the long synth, the intro synth in Syndicate, the opening track to the album Syndicate. There's a pad being played by J3PO, and that ends before this like darker main pad comes in that I added later. But it has this long reverb tail. That is this one. I think it's this feedback hall. No, it's Dirty Ambient Hall. It's like so long. Anyway, highly recommend the reverbs in the Ubermod. And they're you can automate them as well, the parameters, and so it just will last forever, and it sits in a really nice mid-range space. You barely have to do any EQing. It's like there's not a lot of like low rumble, there's not any high sibilance. It's just like such a sick someone's like, let's hear it. Yeah, you're right, I should just shut the fuck up. Let me put one on, and I've got these little bookmarked ones that I like. This is the one I tend to go with, but you'll hear it. So this is dry. And it can go. You hear that? It's just like this mid-range. It's so nice, and it has two different EQ settings and stuff. It's really great. But let's check the tail. You can really go nuts with the tail. That's what I did with the intro pad on Syndicate. Listen to that. It just will go, and you can slow it. You can automate that. It's just so like, you don't need anything. It just sits right there in the mid range. It's so nice. Okay, very, very cool. Let's mute Tyler's vocal. Let's focus on the track, and I'm gonna do my non-scientific, more human approach, I guess. Let's start with. I like to start with pads and chords first. This was, I think I found this pad for this track called 1985, and then I ended up using it for Summer's Ending Soon as well, and I think it's the one I use in Runaways. think I opened the filter maybe a bit. Let's try something. I think it's this. It could be another one. I'm not entirely sure, but this pad is just really nice. It's a Spire pad, and really, this just felt like proto synthwave to me. Like instantly I'm seeing the, you know, randomly uploaded video with a still frame of like what are they, like the Miami Vice, like what are they called, Crockett and Tubbs, with the Miami skyline in the background, and it's like just a picture of them at the car and with the skyline and the palm trees, and it's this. That's you know, or some fast car, or like that gif with the car driving through the city, and like it just kind of keeps going forever. That was what I saw. I was like, yeah, this is synthwave. And so even though I think Tyler had something a bit more raw and kind of punky in mind, and I've like tried to infuse that energy, but I was like, this is too clean. Like this is just gonna hit all the synthwave heads. They're gonna be like, fuck yeah. Because I'm like that. I'm that guy. I'm like, fuck yeah. Little guy, little thing here. That's good. Little. Let's listen to that. Just it swoops it in nicely. Boom. That's clean, man. I've been playing around with that on this album. Just little, you know. Right? Take it away. Just a little flatter. Right? Little things like that are just like nice touches that I love to, you know, when I have the bandwidth to do that. And then we've got, as per usual on most of this album, Nest Acoustics, bringing the pain as always. So let's see here. So I had him do these stabs. This is what the track sounds like without his stuff. Really simple. I mean, I kind of acknowledge that the drums are like pretty, they're not like dirty, gritty drums, but they're pretty punchy and clean. And I also think that works in the context of us, but also this song. You know, this is sort of same type of energy as Days of Thunder in terms of the sort of driving bass, the tempo is, I think Days of Thunder is 163, if I'm not mistaken. So it's right up there. Obviously different vibes, different themes and all that stuff. But yeah, Nest is adding this like these zoom doom 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 doom. Can you hear him? Such like a weird sound. I don't know where he got that from, but like he made it. I was like, give me some stabs or something that feels a little gritty, and it's just really nice. Really nice. So if we solo all that stuff, what do we got here? What is this? This is the snare, right? So this is a whole thing. It's a bounced snare. This is the snare from, I think from Long Island. I mean, it's in a lot of the tracks, but that was kind of where I finalized it. Summer's Ending Soon. You know, those drums are like essentially the same and similar, but it's going to, the drum bus is vastly different on this track compared to Long Island and Summer's Ending Soon and stuff. But without anything, it sounds like this. And that's just the sample that like I made. I wish I could be like, I took this, you know, it's some old drum machine thing that I then treated and bounced, and then this is the sample, and then I'm just EQing it a little bit, add a little bit more punch in the low mid range. And then it's being sent to this AMS reverb from UAD. Let's bypass the filter. So without it, a little bit of that Phil Collins gated reverb type of thing. And this is just rolling off some lows and just kind of cleaning it up a bit. So that's the snare. Kick. I think that's the Love is an Ocean kick, actually. And then this is my bus. for the drum bus. Listen to this. You can hear like that kick is almost like an EDM kick. It's like a pretty EDM-y, but it is an old drum machine kick that I've then treated and bounced and treated. You know, it's like one of those. But it's been through so many weird iterations of bounces, but it's like arrived at this place now. And Love Is an Ocean was kind of, it's a similar, fairly similar drum chain I've got on the drum bus. But anyway, it's very like, it's got some like disperser on it and stuff. Anyway, that's all bounced. So not so much interesting stuff in the drum bus, to be honest, on this one, but this is what it sounds like. And then I needed some energy for the last choruses. I literally opened up an old session I had of, I think it was the Boys of Summer Days of Thunder mashup we did live years ago. And I found that session where I had it as audio that I was trying to emulate the Boys of Summer percussion. Hang on, if we do this, hang on. Just get nutty. What song is this? Wait, I should maybe not mute. Let's do this, You just don't get more classic than that, guys. I just don't know what to tell you. Fuck. Imagine coming up with that theme. Be like, I had this idea for a melody, for a synth melody, and it's just Boys of Summer. Like, what? And it's so simple, and it's the same. I mean, I think I talked about it in my last stream a few weeks ago before I left for Europe. It's the same thing as like Christopher Cross sailing. I will never get tired of it. Those three notes played in ever which, you know. Anyway, so I took the Boys of Summer percussion and I think I just stretch it to fit with the time. And so when the last chorus, like the second chorus comes in, it just kind of adds a little bit less clinical edge to it, a little bit more energy. It's admittedly not the most alive drum beat, the wildest drum beat, but it was that, or it was either make it wild, but also maintain that tension, that friction, if you will. But it had to have a little bit of a tight tension, so it couldn't just be, you know, really noisy. It's not really what I'm drawn to anyway, but it was just one of the things. Okay, how do I make it feel bigger but maintain that tightness? So I feel like it did that. And then I'm going to be a little bit all over the place here, but we'll just kind of go through it. Then we have Royce. I got Royce to do some chugs, I think. Yeah. So he's just, he's following along here. And I think he's obviously doubling the bass. And then what is this? We'll get to that. So this bass. And then we have this heist bass. I was calling some Serum preset. Really nice. I used a lot on this album. It's on Love Is an Ocean. It's on, I'm pretty sure it's on Digital Dreams as well. It's in a lot of things because it has a nice, if you listen to this, not a lot of low end going on there. I'm obviously side chaining. I'm cleaning it up a little bit too. But really nice. Just sits there nicely in the mid-range. Got some crispness to it, but doesn't really get in the way of the bass. How do I do this? Keep. Let's add this. What's this? Oh, sorry. Do these. Take these away first. I admittedly didn't have a lot of time to really like gritty up the sounds on this one. This maybe when I'm listening back to it, I'm like, it's a little clean. It's a little it says here Oakley. I wonder if it's like a Michael Oakley. This was some like synthwave or like retro wave bank I found for or I guess I had for a Spire years old, I think. And there's one called Comeback or something. Oh yeah, Comeback Kid. Listen to this. I think I may have changed it a little bit, but they tried to do the do 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 do. It's got that little pitch thing. Anything. So, yep, this is the thing. Just kind of adding some bigness. Let me just kind of do the MIDI here. We have this guy. That's adding the full... Again, back to the source. I've been using this in the whole album. I love the kind of wavy, sizzly little... Has a really nice warmth to it. So this is the MIDI chord here. Someone just said, I noticed Baby Audio have a few plugins which seem to be named after you guys. I thought the same. I think I had someone ask them or maybe it was like on email a few years ago with them, and I was like, I noticed I thought they were maybe fans of the songs because they have I think it's a reverb plugin called Crystalline, and then they have a delay. It's a delay thing called Comeback Kid. I was like, oh, it must be, but then the guy, maybe there was like a customer service person that didn't know, but he's like, oh, I asked and that's not. I was like, oh, I guess because they're not fans, but maybe I feel like they are. But funny you should say it. We've been talking with them about potentially collabing on something. So they might be joining the stream next week. And who knows, maybe they'll give out some goodies. I love Baby Audio stuff. Again, the reverb I have a bunch of their stuff, but the one I ended when it was crunch time for this album, I didn't have a lot of time to explore lots of other plugins. So what I ended up using for the vocal reverb was just their I'm not sure if I'm using it on this one. No, I used this guy for the vocal because I wanted that like short kind of gated type Phil Collins verb for the vocal on this one. But I've used what is it called? Outer space, something space. Godwin? What is it called? Come on. Baby Audio. Spaced out. This guy. Such a that's like that's my favorite reverb for right now. I think it's just beautiful. Anyway, their stuff is great. I love them as a company. All right, so let's incorporate this. We have, what do I want to use? I kind of want to add the different, layers. Really nice. And these are the chords I like, guys. You know me. So I always tend to voice it like this. What am I doing on this one? Super open, So it's all. I'm gonna move my mic a little bit, but I spend a lot of time on the voicings of my different roles and elements, because I think they all have to play together, and it's how they play off of each other. So anyway, I don't know. Rather than going like this, that's the kind of core progression. I hate those types of, I call them very straight notes. I need some moistness in there, if you know what I mean. It's all about the common notes, really, to quote Steve Lukather. It's like those common notes. This is the same note. And then just this. These can exist over any which bass note in the entire scale. Same, nothing is conflicting, nothing. And then you have little colors like this, so you could add this one. So now you have these two. I love sort of not conflicting notes, like notes that are clashing a little bit, but they have that tension in them. And that's really something I think I got a lot from hearing Bruce Hornsby play, a pianist, singer, songwriter, really amazing. His voicings are just fucking ridiculous. But anyway, so that tension. And then you could add this one. So now you have... Or you add... That's a tension. I always think that makes the chord sieve even bigger. You're adding, what you're getting there is the tritone. It's this, which is called the devil's interval, I think it's called, because it's essentially not a very pretty, like if you go like this, it's sort of any horror movie you've heard. It's like, it's just kind of like rubs, tritone. But if you use it right, if you have the low end bass doing, and you don't hit it down here, you could kind of get away with that, actually. That in itself is actually dissonant in a way. But once you add it in context and you add these, suddenly now it's like, ooh, there's tension and it gets released. And most of what my shit is, it's adding this one. These notes are, what's 17? What is it? Gloria. It's all there. It's, Sunset, the opening to Sunset. Something like that. Okay. That's a little TED talk about voicings, but I'm big fan of that, and especially this last chord here, this one. I always add that. That's that note. That's the tritone. But you no longer have this bass note. It's when you bring it up here, instead of just playing, you add this one, and maybe you take away this one. You make it, and maybe you add the high octave, and maybe you move this one to. That's the midnight chord right there. That's the midnight. To me, it feels wide, it feels open, it feels longing, it feels wistful, it feels nostalgic, it feels a little moody as well. It could go either way, it could go. pretty big, pretty open, but you could also go. That's a little sadder, you know. So kind of, I just love. I have to have those colors, otherwise, I'll lose interest. You know. Anyway, okay. So let's listen to these elements played together. Let's take this guy away. And these two really play well together. This guy, you can hear that sizzle, and this guy. So together, they feel like the same sound, which is, you know, intentional. Like just it sort of blends blends in really nice. If we play it without it, let's play it like that. I know I'm getting a little nerdy, but this is the shit that takes time, I feel like. Then we introduce the bass at high space. Just a little bit more of a richer, like, you know, sweep. And then when you have this guy. God, come on, Timothy. And that's that one. That's that note again. It's that it's on my keyboard. It's an E in terms of the scale of this song, or the key of this song, I should say. And that's the bell. This is the bell from. I don't think it's the Sunset Bell, but it was used on. I think I used it on Monster. No, Deep Blue. I think it was Deep Blue. Yeah. Anyway, on Deep Blue, where it goes do 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 do. And so I was like, that's like Skrillex Cinema, which it is, but what it really is, it's a nod to, what's the Kool and the Gang song? Oh, God, now I gotta... Is it like, she's dangerous? Now I can forget the title, but what's the Kool and the Gang song? She's hot. I don't know. Maybe is it too hot to live? Oh God. Anyway, that's in the. It's like those notes. And I was like, ooh, that just sat in my brain. But this bell functions in a similar way. And I was trying to stay out of the way of the vocals. So if we bring in the vocals, so the key, I always try to stay out of the way of the vocals first and foremost, or it supports it, but never get in the way, never clash. But it also should work if you mute the vocals and hear the instrumental. It should feel logical. It has to work. It doesn't have to, but it's fun when it does. When you mute it, that it still sounds cool and that there's not anything missing. But I like when things play off of each other. It becomes very much call and response. I don't know that this track is a really good example of that, but with the synths we have here, let's just bring them in. Do this.
Come closer to me. Can I breathe you? I need to. Come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. Come close.
So if you bring in this little bell here.
Come closer to me. Can I breathe you? I need to. Come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. Come closer to me. Can I breathe you? I need to. Come closer.
And so, obviously that fits right in between those little spaces from in Tyler's voice in the top line. But this second one, I think I did that because here's where I find I spend more time maybe than other people. I don't know. Sometimes I hear synthwave where it's like a lot of things, and like a lot of different like dreamy patterns. That's nice, but they don't always work as well together. And I think it's really important to listen to, if we mute the drums and just have the synths here. Oh yeah, by the way, we should give Royce a shout out for these guitar like stabs. This was me wanting kind of like, I was trying to ape a specific thing in a Phil Collins song called Billy Don't Lose My Number. Billy don't lose my number, 'cause you're everywhere, and you can find me. Oh, fuck, killer song. A little aside, I stole the drum pattern from Billy Don't Lose My Number by Phil Collins and used it in Days of Summer. Days of Summer goes. That's the drum pattern for Billy Don't Lose My Number. Go check it out. Sick song off of, is it No Jacket Required? I forget. Anyway, it has these guitar stabs and it sounds like this. Like, it doesn't sound exactly like this, but like this type of thing with like a stabby guitar. And yeah, I wanted to like pop, kind of like dirty, dingy guitar. So I wanted to point out something else. Listen here. Let's maybe mute these. Yeah, also we should point out, here is a little extra grit in the bass that Nest added. And it kind of plays with this. It just plays along with everything. Right? Sorry. You know, that feels very cohesive, and he's so good at that. So these sounds, can't even hear that's 2 layers. But without it, just a lot thinner, you know? So anyway, these little subtle things, they take time to get right. But the goal is hopefully to get it right so it all feels like, oh, well, that was how it's supposed to be the whole time. And you don't really notice it, but it just works. It feels cohesive to the ear, and it's less information for the brain, so that you're essentially, as a producer, directing what you want the listener to focus on. You know, are you serving up a bunch of like ear candy, listen to this, or are you kind of keeping the space sparse because you want the focus on the vocal? Or are you it's all a question of like, what is your attention being guided to, and is that good or bad, or does it need to be reel back, or do we need to add more stuff? And are you serving whatever, are you serving the song? Anyway, so this is kind of the package of the synths. So with that, I was finishing the record and I was like, it needs a little something in between, in between the choruses. Listen to this.
Grind out the freedom without chains. Friction, come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to come close.
The guitars are there, but they're not really enough. They're not really standing out, and especially the first chorus doesn't have them. Sorry, let me mute these bells again here. Like, so they feel it feels like something was missing.
Grind out the freedom without chains is the friction. Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to come closer to me. Do you know?
So it's nice, but there was like something missing, and something little, a hooky thing. Like I needed a little thing that told you like something new is happening here, and I didn't want it to step on the vocals. So the reason I bring all this is to kind of come around. Listen to this. If we mute the vocals, my brain would have probably, let's mute it here. Mute these things too. Okay, let's say this was the So come closer to me. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Break. Do-do-do-do-do. Same space, right? What's it going? It's going. So it's playing that. One could maybe do this. Maybe it's this. You know, you could do that. Dung da dung dung, something similar in the sort of the similar rhythm, but I couldn't do that because these had already been established. These stabs, especially this one, and you see they changed. This one is more melodic. This is just a stab. I had said to Royce, like, just play something like that. Like, and he did it, and it was like, great, this fits in the track, but it wasn't like a standalone part type of thing. So I couldn't have this playing again. Do you see how that clashes? What I'm zoning in on is these two, this guitar and this bell, this melody. That's clashing. That's clashing. If had those guitars not been there, I'll probably stayed with that rhythm. I'm going really super micro right now because just to kind of give you an idea of how sort of in depth it gets. And this is just one little part, but it calls attention to itself, but it has to serve multiple functions. It's got to call attention to itself. It's got to be attention grabbing, but also that cannot be at the cost of the music or the top line or the track that's been established. So you've got to find a way to do the thing, but make it work within the context of what you've already established. And this to me is a really good example. That's why I'm kind of zooming in on this, of something. It doesn't clash in the first time around because, as you can hear, we solo this. This is just a little stab. Bow. It's like do do do. Probably those notes from Royce. And so it comes on this last hit is on the stab. It's using the similar notes. That note is already in his stab if you listen closely. It's that right there. So, as a result, this doesn't work. Ba-da-ba-da. So this is going bum 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 bum, and he's just going boom, da 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 da. So you're kind of getting the da 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 da. Those are clashing in different times. So no. So I had to find a way. This is just like my brain, but I was like, oh fuck. But I had to find a way of making this bell work with ba da ba da. So I'm going bo ba bo ba ba, you know? So what you trying to find notes that feel new and fresh and do a similar thing, but complement whatever is going on in the background. And here we have it. So here's it going ba da ba da ba, and mine is going boo ba boo ba ba. So you're kind of like, it's not in the way. It's still. And it still sticks out because it's a bell and it does the thing, but it works in context of that guitar. If you remove the guitar, it wouldn't have been a problem, and I could have done the same thing or same rhythm and tweak the notes. But I also think this provides a little bit of and I didn't want to get rid of the guitar, obviously. So this provides just a little bit of growth. There's just like a super stupid little example of how granular you can get and how granular, at least my brain gets, to make the puzzle fit. It's a puzzle every fucking time. And then this is also, slightly different sounds. So it's not really, they can lie there and just be kind of a little sauce thing. You know, that is fine, but it all should work. Yeah. So that's kind of like, honestly, it's a fairly simple track. We went through the solo. We did the stabs. We did, the guitar. Obviously, just supporting the bass. Little nice, clean, chuggy thing. I'm just EQing it a bit. That's Royce sent me the file. I'm just taking the mud out of it. And then Ben sent me this Nest Acoustics. Just as a nice texture. He did something similar for Runaways, but a really nice texture that just kind of, without it, if you listen. Get rid of this sidechain here. It's a bit low in the mix. Let me turn it up here. See, now I'm bummed I didn't crank that in the mix. Let's just try it with the vocals, because there was a couple of moments on this album where I'm like, you know what? Maybe I was a little too subtle with the layering of this thing. This should have been. Runaways is a good example of that other kind of trancey synth that comes in the second part of the second chorus in Runaways and plays throughout the rest of the song. After the solos, I should have brought that up a bit. It's nicely, but I was like, I should have been a bit more bold. But like, this is a good example of that. It's a really nice texture, but also I'm saying that as the drums are not in and the vocals are not in. So like, maybe I thought it called too much attention. Like, it was like clashing with the vocals, but I don't know. Yeah, that feels nice. I'm like, bummer, I should have done that. Let's see that solo. See, without them, it kind of dies a bit. Again, that texture is really good in that. Again, Ben is so good at finding where's the space that needs to be filled. And it doesn't have any harshness or anything like that. That kind of like gets grating for the ear. But I had it mixed it here. I could have cranked that up. And again, I'm like, God damn it. That is life. Sometimes you get fatigued and you hear your mix on in a specific room on specific speakers, and you kind of, the cross-referencing speakers you're listening, you just don't pick up on things. And then 3 months later or 6 months later, you're like, God damn it, this could have been louder or whatever. I think that's essentially it. And then we have Tyler. Wait, what's this? Oh yeah, that's like a really nice. I noticed that going into the second verse. Check this out. It's like a weird, like, radio frequency type of texture. Again, that's Ben, man. That's really just so good. He's got another thing here. What's this bendy? Oh, yeah. And you hear that in the mix. And you hear it here as well, here. First chorus. So good, so good. I think that was around there. Yeah. Let's talk about Tyler's voice. There's no BBs, there's no nothing. I kind of just felt like it was kind of raw, and I mixed it so he was like right there. I made him just sit on that. I didn't do much really. Not a ton of automation going on level wise. Just a little bit of raising into the second and last chorus. And unplug that. Didn't have to do much in the way of kind of making him. For the rest of the album, I actually had a little technique I found on some random YouTube video where I was using Soothe to essentially control some of the resonance areas in the mid range to make space for Tyler and like sidechain it to Tyler's voice. And so it's not just sidechaining, it's doing it on a spectral level, but very subtly. And anyway, so didn't do that on this one because it just kind of felt like this is kind of a rock energy. So let's, before we call it a day, I think we kind of got through it, and I'll see if anyone feel like I missed anything, but let's listen to Dry.
The city's skin,
Yeah.
if it's too tight.
And again, this is that mic that I keep forgetting what it's called. I should just shut up about it because I never can remember the name. Anyway, so good on Tyler's voice. I got my trusty, it's a bit small, hang on. Distressor.
City's skin.
Stress has been so good on Tyler's voice. Now I understand how to use it. I really love it. It's just so good for so many things. It's so versatile. It's so buttery. It's so aggressive when you need it to be. It's great.
The city's skin, if it's too tight.
And I'd set it to, for the most part, I've been set it to that because I learnt through some random YouTube tutorial. These first three settings, it's the same, what's it called, knee, in terms of how quickly the compressor kicks in. But when you set it to this one, and I think the last three, 6 to 1, it is a variable knee. So it will react to how hot the signal is coming into the compressor and determine how fast, how to kick in that. And it just feels a little bit more natural. And you can honestly bring it in pretty hot.
The city's skin,
but really great.
If it's too tight.
And there's nothing automated in terms of he goes full voice in the pre and the chorus.
Taking bets to watch you fall. But in the underground there are
that's okay that's a little just so contained. It's first of all, a good mic. Obviously these are separate recordings, so I'm dialing back the hotness when we record this part, so it's trying to maintain the same level, but you can hear it.
The taking bets to watch you fall. But in the underground
you can see the level here, it's the same.
These walls.
Here you go, right around
bets to watch you fall.
Right around 6.
But in the underground.
Also, it's recording with some compression, some UAD, clone of original kind of vocal thing from the studio we were using. Really good. It was just a nice, clean concoction we had.
Come closer to me.
Anyway, it just sounds so good. These vocals sound so good. It's been such a pleasure. We've really found a great mic for him, and it's awesome.
Come closer
so a little bit of de-esser. I love this de-esser. This is great. It's I learned that you can be way more aggressive with it. Look at my range. Essentially, this is the kind of ratio. You look at it from a compression standpoint, as I understand it. It's set to 12. That's pretty aggressive. But it's about dialing in the right threshold and figuring out how aggressive, and you can just make it sound really transparent and clean. And here's you can hear it without the surfer EQ. You'll hear that it has a lot of low mids.
Come closer to me.
When you're soloing, it's no problem, but it gets a little boxy in the track. So this one just got to get rid of that.
Can I breathe? You need to come closer to me.
And I don't mind that it's coming in a little hot. It's recorded a little hot. I'm sure this is adding a little bit of distortion to it. It sounds nice. It makes it nice and present. So let's listen to this.
Come closer to me.
And this is me filtering out even more mids.
Closer to me. Can I breathe?
Probably especially in the verses.
The city's skin.
Without it.
If it's too tight.
You hear that? It's kind of boxy.
In the late hot summer sweat, the kids come looking for a fight.
Just kind of controlling some of that boxiness, and then another compression, or not. Yeah, it's compression. It's a little bit of clarity. This is like a little extra plugin I bought a few years ago from I think it was on sale from what they call Softtube. Their stuff is really high quality, and I wish it had a bypass. I guess it's a dry and wet, so we can do that. Without it,
The city's scared if it's too tight. In the late hot summer sweat, the kids come looking for a fight. And everywhere
so you hear that it breathes a little bit more without it.
the city's scared.
Look at the dynamic
The
range.
city's scared if it's too tight.
But with it,
The city's scared if it's too tight.
feels a little closer. It feels like you're bringing it to the forefront just a little bit more. It's adding some like a little bit of crispness, a little bit of like that mid-range, high mids are kind of sitting right there in the mix. So it's just a little bit of adding some compression, and it's kind of an overall. So I would use it sparingly if I use it, but it's really nice just as a little kind of finisher. And this guy is my favorite go-to like widener. This is bypass
The
now.
city's scared
Bring it in.
if it's too tight.
And there you can really feel it. It's almost like a gated reverb. It's a little obviously shorter than that, but it kind of has that quality.
The city's scared if it's too tight.
It's almost got like a touch of slap back to it. And then I'm sending it to this reverb,
The city's scared
which is actually a
if
gated,
it's too tight.
you know?
In the late hot summer
And I'm just like rolling some highs off of that. And then what else have we got here? This guy, Valhalla.
the city's scared if it's
Ducking set to high. Go with the BB duck or the duct tape. I love it. That's my go-to. So I've been really getting into ducking lately. Big ducking guy right here. But yeah, it just cleans it up so nicely.
the city's scared if it's too tight.
Like in the past, I would have to use automation to just get the skin and tight to be delayed, but not everything else. But because you got the ducking, it sort of just naturally occurs like that. I did the same thing on Runaways. You can especially hear it on Bonnie's like verse and in the chorus when she sings alone in the first chorus. It's just like, it's not being automated. It's just being sent to a duct reverb. It's just nice and easy. And it's such a Valhalla delay is so good. So what do we have here? This is probably a bigger thing I'm using in the chorus. Yes, let's try and listen to that. So that,
Freedom without
It's
chains
upsetting.
is the friction.
let's bypass the two others here. This is what comes in on the vocal in the chorus.
Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to. Come closer.
Nice and spacey. Listen to that. Just kind of wonky and spacey. Really nice. So that adds like an extra dimension. Without it in the chorus, it sounds like this.
Come closer to me. Can I breathe? You need to. Come
With it.
closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction. Come closer to me.
Just a nice little extra instead of adding another reverb or whatever. Like delays are just great. They kind of don't get as muddy if you do it right. And yeah, that's an added. I often do that. I'll add an extra longer, slightly busier delay to the chorus, like so you really get that tail. I did the same, pretty sure on Summer's Ending Soon. So yeah, it's just a nice way of like not having to add more stuff on the vocals, but you're just sourcing up the vocals a bit more. Yeah, so that's essentially it, guys. Like that's it. Because as I was playing it back to you guys, when we first started here, I was like, oh, I should have maybe let some like guitar riffs come in here. And I'll play back for you here, but like right here is where I was thinking, like, should I just had some guitar solo bits like in the outro?
You need to. Come closer to me. Do you know what you do? It's the friction.
You hear that? It's a little bit spare.
It's the
as I always did on this album, I kind of just felt like, you know what, there's a lot going on, and I like it just breathing. Like throwing in more outro guitar solo, we could totally have done that. But again, I was also cognizant, I didn't want any part of this album to feel too rocky and guitar-y, just because our last album was that. And I wanted to be very clear in the aesthetic and the sound that this was like a synth wave album, and synth-centric. That's why a lot of the solos was like me doing my thing, because I wanted that, I wanted that OG synth approach. So yeah, it was a kind of a decision to be like, you know what? Yeah, I could add guitar here, but I don't know that it needs a lot, and I don't want to. I wanted to let the synths breathe. What's this that Ben have here? What's this? The last chorus. Ooh, I remember this now. This is kind of fun. All right, let's just like solo some of these. All the synths. Let's do all the synths. Ooh, what's this? Is this the chug? Yeah. All right, so this is what comes in the last. We'll just hear. I'll solo all the synths so we can only hear that. That's so sick. Now I'm like bummed I didn't mix it louder in the mix again. Fuck, idiot. Like, let's bring all this shit up. Okay, I'm just gonna take this and this and none of that. Where's the bass thing? Oh, the bass is gone, I guess. Okay. Wait, did I just get it right? All right. So without it, how does it sound? I should have definitely brought that one in mix, and I'm kicking myself for it now. But then this one. See, now I'm like, well, it's all soloed, so it's easy to be like, I could bring it up in the mix. But there are things where I'm like, that's such a nice detail, and I was it was like crunch time the last few weeks, getting all the last remaining tracks ready for mastering and stuff. And you know what? You do your best in the moment, and it's all you can do. And I think to all you perfectionists out there, and I feel like I come across and see and talk to a lot of people that are like, I'm working on my debut, my first artist album or my EP, and it's got to be perfect. And they've been working on it for 3 years, or 5 years, or 10 years, or 1 year, whatever it is. But it's like, accept that this will be what you can do at this moment, and you could keep chipping away at it for another 3 years, but it would just be a different thing. And the whole point is to keep making new, to have fun with the newness of it. I am the first one to cop to being a perfectionist and like taking your time with tracks. I'm not saying don't take your time, but I'm saying at some point you have to make the leap and just go, I'm going to finish this now, and this feels like the best I can make it. And how much is really gained by letting it sit for another year, and kind of just accept that it won't be perfect. It will be whatever you can make it at that given time. And then if you do a new song, if you do a new EP 3 years down the line, that will be different, and you will have evolved. You're mixing, you're producing, you're writing, you're vocaling, you're playing, whatever it is. And just accept that as part of the, instead of going like, oh, I wish I could go back in time and change this. Like, I'm the king of saying that, but it's like, I also just appreciate that, it was Days of Thunder sounds like it does because that was the best what I could do at that time. But I think the energy's still there, and that's kind of what people connect to. It's not is it the cleanest mix in the world? No. Is the drum bus in Gloria just like crazily mid-ranged compressed and distorted? Yeah, it is. And would I do it differently now? Yes, I would, but accept that about yourself, and it's okay, you know. Anyway, that's Friction. I don't think there's that much more to go into details wise, but I wonder if you guys have. I've got another like 10 minutes or so, and if you have any questions for me, let me know. Hit me in the chat. I don't know, how are you guys doing? Were any of you at the shows? I saw the show in Paris and London, and it was amazing. And the band had never sounded better, and I was just so proud. I get like a proud dad now that I'm not touring. When I see a show, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, because I never got to see it I never got to experience it. We were on stage, and I never got a sense of what this was like for anyone. And so it's really amazing to see Tyler and the whole gang do what they do best, and I get to experience in that way. You were at Glasgow. I love that. What was I just gonna say? I saw those shows, and they were it felt like a poignant moment in our career as Brixton Academy. I think there was over 4,000 people, and I got to hug a lot of people, and hopefully not give them scabies. So, you know, there's that. But I had a lot of people come up to me. I was near the sound booth, and it was very special. But yeah, thank you all for someone. Oh yes, someone's. Oh my God! Did you just name your name is Tim McEwen Scabies? That's what we're going with. This is my new reality. Cool. Super cool. Someone said Lelia and Royce are leaving. Yes, we love those guys. There's no love lost. We are just going in a different direction creatively with this band. We want to evolve the live show. We've got all these ideas, and the making of this album has honestly been part of kind of like us arriving at a place where we went, oh, we are having all these new ideas. And so it's not there's no drama, there's no it's just a creative, like, new reskinning of this thing. The Midnight, like, we'll always have this like extended family of people that we love and will continue to work with. And I hope Royce and Lelia will be, you know, keep being in the fold, and there is no love lost there. I'd love to work with them again in any way, shape, or form. But it will always be Tyler and I that kind of is the creative sort of force. And then we will have a continuous, probably Rolodex, hopefully, of super awesome, talented people that we keep calling on. And the live part of that is no exception. It's that's an extension of these songs and these albums these songs that we write, and the sort of world that we've built and we continue to build. And it's really, we're at a place where we have all these ideas. So we're really trying to see where we can take this. And yeah, it's going to be with an awesome team, and we're really excited. But it's like very early stages. So there's no love lost. We love Royce and Lelia and wish them all the best. I mean, they're just so talented, and we all consider them friends. And yeah, they've been put in so much hard work and dedication and time and blood, sweat, and tears with these years with us, and we're so grateful because they really helped us get to where we're at now, and kind of this whole continuous journey. It's a very spiritual thing, and in so many ways. And the people that you keep around you inform you of, you know, where you're at and where you want to go, and it's just part of that. So we love them and wish them nothing but good things. I think they're currently on vacation in Dublin right now, so if you meet them, you should go say hi. Yeah, what else? You were at the Brixton for the second time seeing you guys, the band, and Bonnie killed it. Bonnie was there too. Bonnie McKee killed it. Bonnie McKee, such a champ, and just such a wonderful soul, such a talented person, and so fucking driven. And I mean, I feel lazy around her. You know, such a queen, man. Queen pop icon in my opinion, my estimation. Bonnie McKee at the LA show next May. I mean, I'd love it. I'd love to see it. Yeah. What else? You guys should come closer to Montreal. We'll try. We'll try to come closer to everyone. Yeah, I don't know if you have any other questions. I don't know. I'm just reading here. Does Tyler record his vocals in the home studio? Sometimes. Sometimes he records them and sends them to me, and it gets a little trickier because I like to be on the knobs, making sure I'm like dialing in the compressor as he's working so he can just focus on his thing. But for the most part, we try to be in the same room, especially now that we have a bit more of means and kind of to be able to like plan times to get in the same studio together and write. And, it was for the longest time, it was like, just trying to do it in a way that makes sense and logistically, like being on different coasts and all that stuff. But now it's like, okay, we prioritize that. So yeah, this album was mostly recorded all in. Actually, I think it was all recorded in one room, but in given different times of the year. Let's see what else we got here. How's Yogi doing? Yogi's doing great. He is sleeping in his bed next to me. I'm in the studio. I've got the heat on. I'm gonna take him for a walk after this, and he's just living his best life. For Sentinels and Chariots, did you use Varispeed or Kontakt for pitch? I'm assuming you are talking about the vocal stuff. That is, Varispeed is just slowing up and slowing down, right? I think in Logic or wherever. I don't think it does much else than that, to be honest. But no, I use Kontakt. Yeah, I use Kontakt. Yeah, I should do a whole separate thing in such a cumbersome way, but it's worth it at the end, and it's always what I've done since Shadows and Lost Boys. It's just really kind of cumbersome. But you can really make some cool stuff with it, and I prefer it, even though it's cumbersome. But it's a nice way to explore melodies and make them up, and then you just kind of takes time to do. I did not hear Doja Cat's new 80s inspired album. I will have to check that. Yeah, that's about it. Wait, someone says here, one cool way to use Varispeed track is you vocal lower speed and then you speed up and print. I don't know what that means. You track a vocal lower speed. Yeah, but how do you speed it up? But doesn't it just goes? It goes. Maybe I'm not using it correctly. Yeah, we're talking about the Varispeed and we're talking about this, right? This in Logic, where I can go in and go like this. Where is it? Right? This is what we're talking about, right?
The city's
Wait, I'm doing the wrong thing. Jeez, idiot. This is what we're doing, right? We're talking about this.
skin. City skin.
Is that not what we're talking about? Am I tripping? Varispeed is at the top next to BPM. What? Oh, you mean, that it just varies. You can vary the tempo. I guess I never thought about that. I change the tempo if I have to, if I'm merging two things together, like two different. I don't know. I mean, for a song, I'm not really changing that, automating the tempos. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you guys are saying. Clearly, I have my limits. Thank you for. Tyler does not use this. Well, he has the Soyuz mic. No, it's not the Soyuz. We used to have that. Oh, we have it. But yeah, we got another one that I cannot remember for that. It's an emulation of a big, expensive classic mic. Something 50. Oh God, you're gonna kill me. Someone in the chat will know. I don't know. I'll try and remember it the next time. I apologize. We've talked about it on the streams, and I always forget the name of it. 251. That's it. Yeah, it's Upton 251, and I think it's an emulation of an old. Is it a Neumann 251? Something 51, 251. You'll know it. But it's an Upton makes think it's called Upton, makes a clone of that, and it's so good. It's a $4,000 mic, so it's up there. It's not cheap, obviously. Telefunken, that's what it is. And Upton makes their clone of a Telefunken 251. That's what it is exactly. We tried an original Telefunken next to the Upton. I think we had both, and I ended up liking the Upton more for Tyler's voice. It sounded slightly crisper and cleaner up there, and it had the warmth. It was actually, I preferred it. So I'm just a big believer of whatever sounds best, go with that, and don't be fooled or blinded by classic brands, or there's often something to be said for that, because that's how they got their name, and how that became a thing. But sometimes it's the little cheapo thing that works, or sometimes it's the copy of the thing. Voices especially are so unique. So anyway, go with God, do your thing. Love you all. Thank you all for the amazing support for the album. It's been so cool to see it come out. I was in Paris when it came out, and wait, had I already no, yeah, I was in Paris. Yes, I was, and it was very special. Thank you all. Have a blessed night, and take care of yourselves. Love you. Bye.